Hello, welcome to Prime Sports with me, Razak Musbah. Let's start off with the Ghana Football Association because they have officially launched its women's football strategy during a ceremony held at the Swiss Spirit Elisa Hotel in Accra. The strategy was developed by the Ghana FA's Technical Directorate, led by Bernard Lepere, and the head of the Women's Football Desk, Ama Brobe Williams. Now, the GFA President, Kete Kweku, speaking at the event, says their aim is to bring football to the doorstep of aspiring female footballers.
Launch of this strategy is not just an event, it is the declaration of our dedication to gender equality and the spirit of inclusivity. It sends a clear message that women's football matters, and it is time for us to invest in its growth and development. We are committed as the Football Association to providing every young girl in Ghana with equal opportunities, allowing them to dream big and to pursue their passion for football without limitations. This strategy is as a result of extensive research, collaboration, and consultation. It is a roadmap for success encompassing various aspects such as infrastructure development, coaching programs, talent identification, and support systems. Our aim as a Football Association is to create that environment that nurtures talent, promotes professionalism, and celebrates the achievements of our female footballers.
Now, joining us via Zoom for more on this is both individuals who are at the front line of this very initiative at the Ghana Football Association. We have Mrs. Ama Brobe on the via Zoom, and also Evelyn Isia Asari joining us via Zoom for some more insight on this women's football strategy. Ladies, thanks very much for joining me on Prime Sports tonight. And let me start with you, Ama. I mean, you were a critical part of the development of this very initiative. First of all, help us appreciate why this strategy in the first place. What have you identified to be the problem with the women's game in the country? For which reason you think this strategy is going to be the panacea to resolve it?
Okay, so thank you for having me on your show. My name is Ama Brobe Williams, the head of women's football development at the Ghana Football Association. The first thing I want everyone to know is the strategy is a requirement of the GFA as well as FIFA. So it's standard. And the purpose of the document is to give a clear path, a direction in how to develop the women's game.
Interesting. So take us through the process that you had to go through to come up with this document. We understand it was under the auspices of the technical director and a few other stakeholders that were engaged in developing a document. Help us appreciate how you arrived at this 3-year strategy.
Okay, so the first thing is to identify the weaknesses within the project, which is the women's football development, and we identify 6 areas, which are grassroots, education, talent identification, league development, national teams, and marketing, branding, and commercialization. So these are the 6 pillars of the strategy that we will be focusing on implementing for the next 4 years. The process. So the process will be implementation of the strategy. We're going to set up 6 different teams based on the pillars I just mentioned, and also have a committee that's going to serve as a governing body to direct the teams on implementing the strategy. And the strategy is not only going to be implemented by the GFA, we're using internal and external stakeholders, so all inclusive, even the media. So we're engaging the girls the spectators, we're engaging corporate, and everybody, all stakeholders involved.
Interesting. Let me bring you in, Madam Evelyn Isia Asari. You are at the forefront of the game. You have a club you manage. I'm sure you've gone through the document. What is your impression of the document, and do you believe it has the potential to transform the women's game in the country?
Thank you very much. Let me say good evening to your viewers. I believe that it is a very good initiative. We have been in the Women's Football Fund for so many years, and we know that there were things there, but they were not properly together. So this strategy is going to help all of us.
Interesting. I'm sure
she spoke about the talent identification. You know that in Ghana here, we have the talent, but how to put them together is the problem. You know, in women's football, if you are not able to start the players with a good tactical play or the tactics, how the person is supposed to pass a ball and other stuff, if you are not able to identify these things and put them together, whatever the girl starts with is what the person is going to do. We don't teach persons at the national camp. We teach all these things at the club level. So I believe that it is going to help the coaches. It will help the administrators. You know how to bring your girls together. You see, women's football is a different ball game. When you compare it with the men, you see, when you are playing a game, in the men's game, and you have an issue with a man, the issue will never travel to the main game. But women's football is different. So if you are able to tap the talent from the initial stages through schools and other stuff, I believe they will be able to do the right thing before they get to the national team. Again, it's something that is going to introduce the school coaches so that they catch the players. You see, you see the girl during school games before you bring the girls together. So if you are able to get the coaches who are there, the PT teachers who are there on board, as amateurs, it is all inclusive. The stakeholders, the coaches, everybody who is supposed to play a part for women's football to progress, they all brought their input. When you are doing something and you have everybody coming together, you are able to do it well. So I believe that this is something that is going to help those in the women's front to be able to build a very formidable team. It is not only on the field, but it should also be off the field, how the players will dress, how the players will come together, and they also have to go through education. You see, FIFA says that football is feminine. It means that now the attention of FIFA is tilted towards women football. And they know that when women football progress, everything will progress in football industry.
Interesting. Let me come back to you. I mean, what has the GFA done or put in place to ensure that there is a strict adherence to this strategy, so that at least the objectives that we are looking to realize from it is indeed realized 3 years from now?
Okay, so the GFA has really gained a lot of popularity with women's football. And so it's definitely a priority for the GFA. We have all the measures in place. A lot of people ask about financing, which is the biggest thing, because without that, I'm sure everybody will know that this will not happen. So financing, we're getting finance from the GFA, from FIFA, and also, obviously, from sponsors. So as and when we receive the funds, we apply it to the different pillars as it fits.
Interesting. And you're very confident that 3 years from now, so let me just put this directly to you. 3 years from now, if we should be talking about the women's game, what do you think the narrative really is going to be?
I'm very hopeful and I'm very confident, and I can assure you that we are going to work. We've actually started working, and I don't know if you've heard about football for girls. So even on the grassroots, we started last year. We collaborated with the Ghana Education Services. They gave us permission to enter all the schools in Ghana to introduce football for girls. We really have started working. So there's a clear pathway. And I'm confident that in 4 years it's a 4-year strategy.
Right. And
So 4 years now, at least 90% of everything in the strategy should be implemented. I can't say 100%, but I'm very confident.
Okay, let me give the final words to Evelyn. Evelyn, let me get your final words. She assures that the GFA will make funding available to ensure that the strategy is implemented to the core. Or from the side of the clubs, is there a commitment you are making to ensure that at least you help the GFA realize the objectives of this strategy?
It is because you realize that when you go to every country, the leaders of the country is supposed to make sure that their youth get jobs to do. So if somebody is bringing something together so that they will be able to get a job to do, I believe that this will not be a GFA affair alone. It should be everyone, including the government. We have the district assemblies there. They have quotas for sports. What are they doing about that quota? So I believe that this strategy, now that they know we have put a strategy together, we are going to go around the district assembly with the help of the local government minister. We will go to them. They have to help the girls. We are going to help the girls. DES is involved. We are tapping the talent from the scratch so that we able to put them. I also asked am I effective? That are we going to achieve the target that we have set for ourselves? I will say yes. You see, now when you are involved in a women's game, you'll be there and somebody will call you. I need your player. Before you realize the player is exit. I believe that because of this strategy, we will all come together, fight a common goal, know how our players exit, so that we will not turn like the men.
Okay.
For so many years, half the folk in Kotoko, they go to Africa and they don't perform. We want to go to Champions League and perform.
Okay.
And Pemdakua is doing this year. We need to help her. We need to help the team to be able to progress and go far. I think if they are able to win it, Razak win 2008, they became second. Champions League, they made it a distance. So we should be able to come together, help the team that is moving from Ghana to be able to go far in the Champions League. So I think that it is attainable, it's achievable.
All right, we'll leave it here. Ladies, thanks very much for your time, and we'll keep tabs on it and see how far the women's game will go with this strategy. That's Evelyn Insia Asari, CEO of Razak Ladies, and Amat Brobe, also with the Ghana Football Association, responsible for the women's football. Let's talk about the Africa Games now. And contractors at the University of Ghana Stadium say they are left with only 30% of work ahead of March 2024's Africa Games. A team made up of University's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Nana Aba Apia Amfo, Minister for Sport, Mustafa Yusuf, LOC Chairman, Dr. Kweku Ofosu-Asare, and other LOC members this morning inspected the facilities at Legon, which will be used for the Games. The rugby field has also been pegged at 70% completion, but there is work left to be done at the university's diaspora halls, which will serve as the Games village. Nevertheless, the Vice-Chancellor for the University of Ghana, Professor Amfo, has been left impressed with the work done so far.
At some point, as you know, UG is a key partner in organizing these games. At some point, I was concerned that this wasn't going to happen, and it had implications for us also with regard to setting and readjusting our academic calendar. But I've been quite impressed with what I've seen this morning. I see that for all the places that we have been to, the rugby pitch, the games village, and the main stadium, as well as the warm-up pitch, I see that work is progressing steadily. And I believe that when we keep up this pace, by October, November, we should be able to get all the international certification that we need to get. And what will really be left will be aesthetics.
That was Professor Nana Aba Apia Amfo, Vice-Chancellor of the University of Ghana, who, despite indicating she was impressed with the quality of work on the facilities at the University of Ghana premises, which will be used for the Games, she confessed there are aspects she has slight worries with.
I mean, right here on this field, we've noticed the quality of the grass, which we have pointed out to the contractors, and they have assured us that they are going to work on. On the other hand, too, we are concerned with regard to the refurbishment going on within the student hostels, and for the students to, in the meantime, keep these facilities as they are expected to be kept before the start of the games.
She led an inspection team made up of Minister for Sport, Mustafa Yusuf, LOC Chairman, Dr. Kweku Ufusu Asari, the LOC's Deputy Chief Operating Officer, Olympian Rix Broby, as well as Director of Sport at the University of Ghana, Dr. Bella Bello Butugu. The Diaspora Halls and its surrounding environment will be used as the Games Village, where there will be 2 500-seater cafeterias and a clinic. Rooms in the Diaspora Halls will have to be adjusted to meet international standards in order to house the 5,000-plus athletes expected to arrive in Ghana between the 5th and 7th of March 2024. The 2,800 rooms will be fitted with air conditioners and water heating systems.
We have the AC, we changed the lights to LED, fan, we did some tiling, this door was changed. And then...
Can I go through it?
Yes.
Continuing students at the University of Ghana are scheduled to have a first semester break on February 4th, 2024 to ensure work on the rooms is completed before athletes' arrival. Meanwhile, work at the University of Ghana Stadium has been pegged at 70% complete, with contractors assured work at the stadium and rugby fields will be completed by December, so the pre-game mandatory testing of facilities can be done. There have been public fears Ghana's hosting of the Games is under threat considering the pace of work, but the Minister for Sport did make sure to allay those fears.
We are not grappling at all of meeting deadline. We are on track, and we are going to ensure that the contractors complete the facilities on time for us to be able to do testing. And like you saw, the contractor did indicate that we are almost 70% completion. And some of the facilities are about 80%. The Games Village is almost 85% complete. So to assure the country and to assure you, the media, we'll finish the facilities and we'll do the testing before the games.
Government of Ghana is so committed to doing these games. You know that since 1965, this is the first time we are getting the opportunity to host the games. And the president has given us every assurance, despite the challenges we are having. COVID, what have you, Ukraine. I'm not a politician anyway. But what is going on recently, elsewhere, I have spoken to so many African countries. Elsewhere, they would have pulled out. But our government is committed to getting things done. And we are hoping that we will host the games and to be one of the best ever in the history of the games.
It is on Prime Sports tonight. With me, Razak. There's more on myjoyonline.com/sports. Do have a lovely evening.